This book is for Gerda, as it always should have been. We have a weight to carry, and a distance we must go. We have a weight to carry, a destination we can't know. We have a weight to carry, and can put it down nowhere. We are the weight we carry, from there to here to there. The Book of Counted Sorrows. 1. Twilight Time. 1. On the desk in my candlelit study, the telephone rang, and I knew that a terrible change was coming. I am not psychic. I do not see signs and portents in the sky. To my eye, the lines in my palm reveal nothing about my future, and I don't have a gypsy's ability to discern the pattern of fate in wet tea leaves. My father had been dying for days, however, and after spending the previous night at his bedside, blotting the sweat from his brow and listening to his labored breathing, I knew that he couldn't hold on for much longer. I dreaded losing him and being, for the first time in my 28 years, alone. I am an only son, an only child, and my mother passed away 2 years ago. Her death had been a shock, but at least she had not been forced to endure a lingering illness. Last night, just before dawn, exhausted, I had returned home to sleep, but I had not slept much or well. Now, I leaned forward in my chair and willed the phone to fall silent, but it would not. The dog also knew what the ringing meant. He padded out of the shadows into the candle glow and stared sorrowfully at me. Unlike others of his kind, he will hold any man's or woman's gaze as long as he is interested. Animals usually stare directly at us only briefly, then look away, as though unnerved by something they see in human eyes. Perhaps Orson sees what other dogs see, and perhaps he, too, is disturbed by it, but he is not intimidated. He's a strange dog, but he is my dog, my steadfast friend, and I love him. On the 7th ring, I surrendered to the inevitable and answered the phone. The caller was a nurse at Mercy Hospital. I spoke to her without looking away from Orson. My father was quickly fading. The nurse suggested that I come to his bedside without delay. As I put down the phone, Orson approached my chair and rested his burly black head in my lap. He whimpered softly and nuzzled my hand. He did not wag his tail. For a moment, I was numb, unable to think or act. The silence of the house, as deep as water in an oceanic abyss, was a crushing, immobilizing pressure. Then I phoned Sasha Goodall to ask her to drive me to the hospital. Usually she slept from noon until 8 o'clock. She spun music in the dark, from midnight until 6 o'clock in the morning, on KBAY, the only radio station in Moonlight Bay. At a few minutes past 5 on this March evening, she was most likely sleeping, and I regretted the need to wake her. Like sad-eyed Orson, however, Sasha was my friend, to whom I could always turn. And she was a far better driver than the dog. She answered on the 2nd ring, with no trace of sleepiness in her voice. Before I could tell her what had happened, she said, "Chris, I'm so sorry," as though she had been waiting for this call, and as if in